Upgrading to a new watch is always exciting, but it's not necessarily easy. There are just so many options out there. For this video, we've partnered with eBay to break down different tiers of watches and make recommendations in each in order to guide you through your purchase, whether you're a first-time buyer or a collector going all in on something special. This is how to upgrade your watch.
We partnered with eBay for this video because they make it pretty easy and super stress-free to purchase a great watch, thanks to two programs. First is the eBay Authenticity Guarantee, which ensures that eligible watches are thoroughly vetted, thoroughly verified by brand-certified watchmakers and technicians. They perform a multi-point physical inspection that makes sure your watch is both genuine and in great condition. And then eBay's new escrow program is for watches costing $10,000 or more. If you're buying, your payment is held in a secure account until you've had 7 full days to inspect the watch yourself. Sellers face no risk of chargebacks or escrow processing fees. Point is, if you're buying a watch, specifically if you're following our advice in this video, eBay makes it really easy. So here's how this level up system works. It's based around price brackets, and as we move up the levels, watches get more expensive, but they also get more reliable, their build quality increases, and it has to be said, they get more exclusive. So we start with standards. These are solid watches that anyone would be proud to own, and the picks cost the least in their categories, about $500 to $1,000, but they are not budget picks. They're not cheap. They are fantastic examples of their respective categories. They're stylish, they're highly functional, and they're a great value. And no knock on IKEA, but these are like the real furniture of watches. They're wearing a standard means you're a watch person and you know what you're talking about. The first upgrade we call the come up. At $2,500, the best watches in this tier are instantly recognizable for their popularity and their timelessness. Come up is like a style statement piece. You know people are looking at your wrist and you want them to do a double take. Next, the one up. From $5,000 to $7,000, you are in an exclusive club and can look into specific models or variants of models that require really in-depth knowledge to fully appreciate. Finally, the ante-up. Our highest level picks. You are now all in for $10,000 or more, meaning this level is also when eBay's escrow program would come into play. The ante-up is an extremely exclusive tier. It is rare, is often completely handmade, and it is guaranteed to make it into your will. Now, I'm not saying it's necessary to own a mega expensive watch. These upgrades are simply what to consider if or when you are ready to. But whether you begin with the standard pick and upgrade stepwise or start somewhere in the middle, consider this video your guide to leveling up your watch arsenal. So our first pick for the standard and the dress watch category is the Hamilton Intramatic. You can see what we mean by thin enough to fit under your shirt sleeve. Compared with a dive watch, it is a remarkable difference. The Intramatic case is only about 10 millimeters thick, and the watch itself debuted in 2012 as a reissue of a 1960s Hamilton watch. So there are a lot of mid-century modern details like a sunburst dial, a really thin bezel, and these beautiful stick hands. This one retails for about $945, and Don Draper would approve. So we've called the Cartier Tank one of the most recognizable and iconic watches ever made. I mean, you can see why. It is a rectangle. The watch debuted in the early 1900s, and at the time it was really controversial because of its shape, which supposedly alludes to tanks, like armored tanks. And you can go pretty hard price-wise on a tank. Exclusive models retail for about $40,000, or can, but it starts around $2,500, and it is an upgrade largely because of its very, very distinctive style. At $6,700, the master controlled date is our dress watch one-up. Been around for 25 years. With it debuted the 1,000-hour control test, which means that each watch sold is run for 1,000 hours before being sold in order to test its accuracy and its durability, make sure it's on point. Made from extremely pure stainless steel, and JLC is one of the most technologically advanced watchmakers and has a vast number of impressive patents. So this is objectively one of the best. So when we talk about bucket list watches, we're referring to this top tier. It's the ante-up. And the Calatrava is a Patek flagship. It's very elegant and clearly minimalist. It's super delicate. And this 18 karat gold example is a pre-owned watch, and it hits around $14,600. And for a new Calatrava, you're looking at about $25,000 to start. And in many ways, this is the embodiment of a dress watch. Every element and every detail is super considered, it's hyper impressive, and it's just gorgeous. So there are a lot of official criteria that make a dive watch, and they include a minimum depth rating of 100 meters, a unidirectional bezel with markings at least every 5 minutes. It has to have a dial that's visible in total darkness and an indication in darkness that the watch is running. So you're thinking like a luminous second hand, continually moving. A dive watch must also be anti-magnetic and shock resistant and resistant to corrosion in seawater, since you'll be diving in oceans. And in other words, that means these watches are rugged, they're reliable, and they're legible. And that usually means they're super cool looking. The standard dive watch, starting with the Seiko Prospex, is a pretty good choice, because Seiko is consistently a benchmark of value-driven watch options that are sturdy, they're reliable, and I think they're really wonderful looking across the board. They aren't handmade in Glashütte, but you can get a model like this Prospex for $600, $700, and it'll be super impressive for a very long time. Our dive watch come up is a Doxa Shark Hunter. This one's about $2,400, and like the Cartier Tank, it is uniquely shaped and it's heavy. It's got this eccentric case shape that looks almost as though the bezel and the rest of the dial are carved out of like a solid chunk of metal. Beyond just that, the Shark Hunter looks very serious. It's a retro but very utilitarian design, so it's very stylish in a purposeful and eye-catching way, and it means business. The Planet Ocean was introduced in 2005 to supplement the Seamaster collection and has become a hit. This one new would be about $6,100. The Planet Ocean has been called one of the greatest dive watches of all time. It features this helium escape valve, which is a super cool feature, but it's also an invaluable tool for serious divers. And it's not really necessary, but it's an awesomely capable watch for daily wear, which is kind of like a G-Wagon for your wrist. So our ante up in the dive watch category is from a very obscure brand you may not have heard of called Rolex. This is a GMT Master 2, and it starts around $10,000. This one in particular is referred to as the Batman because of its color scheme. And Rolex makes other two-tone bezels, and that's remarkable because it's two colors in a monoblock ceramic bezel, the result of a very involved patented process. So this is super special for a lot of reasons, but specifically for that reason. So here's the final word. It's really easy for me to break down on paper or in a video how to upgrade your watch collection. But what it really comes down to in real life is three things: what you like, what you can afford, and how you buy. So like we've said, eBay makes it easy with their authenticity guarantee and escrow programs. It's a solid place to start. Thanks for watching. And whatever you choose, good luck, and wear them well.